Howdy, everybody. We're live. I apologize in advance for the sound of the fan, but it is hot. And it is going to be hotter. I don't know what the temperature is right now, but it's got to be 90. But I just now found out it's going to be 102 on Tuesday, my last day. And here I was being grandiose. I was saying, technically my 30 days is over at 3 o'clock. Thank you, Terry, for the super chat. I hope that's the kind of day this is going to be. But I was sitting there going, my day, technically my 30 days is over at 3 o'clock on Tuesday, but I feel like I should go the whole day. And so I decided to do the whole day. So then I just looked up the weather and it's going to be 102 on Tuesday. Welcome, everybody, to the Bunker Nation. My name is Michael Bunker, and I'm going to be your host for the evening. I appreciate you tuning in. Hello, everybody. Tell me where you are. I know Dana and Brett are in Missouri. Terry's in Andrews, Texas. Another Andrews, Texas. We got Michigan in the house. Canning. Montana's here. Everybody hit the like button. Mississippi's in the house. What else do we got here? Another Montana. We got Oregon. Oh, my gosh, it is warm. And a little bit humid. Anyways, I appreciate you guys being here. It's the 28th day. Day 28 of the Off-Grid Challenge, and it has been a challenge. So, and we got 2 more full days after today. Tomorrow is the 29th, and then the 30th day, it'll be Tuesday, and it'll be 102 degrees. So New Jersey Pinelands are in the house. Everybody hit the like button. I hope this lighting is working a little bit better. I need to get 2 more of these lights, but we'll get it all worked out. I'm going to figure it out. I watch the YouTubes, and I figure it out. People say, hey, you need this light, you need that light, and all that kind of stuff. 62 degrees in Montana. It's what you're used to. It's what you're used to. All right, everybody, we're glad you're all here. Weird stuff going on, wild stuff going on out there in the world. I didn't see much of it today, but a little bit here and there. The world is more bifurcated than it has ever been since the Civil War. I don't want to include that. It was pretty bifurcated at that point, but it's pretty bad right now. I can tell you that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about, here's the thing. A lot of you think that I agree with you, and in a lot of cases I probably do. Sometimes maybe all the way. There's a couple of things that irritate me. They still got dog food at the store, huh? All righty then, that's good. A couple things that irritate me. If all I ever hear from you is how I agree with you, this happens a lot, by the way. In other words, you already knew everything that I know. Why are you listening to me? I don't understand why anybody's listening to me if they already know everything I know. If I've never said anything even remotely interesting or new to you, why are you listening to somebody who only says what you think? I don't listen to anybody that only says what I think. I try to listen to people who don't say what I think. But there are people out there, no matter what I say, doesn't matter what it is, they already knew it and they're already doing it. That's one thing that irritates me. There's a lot of things that irritate me. This could be an epic rant. You guys might want to record. Oh, we're recording it. Okay. I am irritated at the people out there. First of all, like I said, everybody thinks I automatically agree with them or whatever. I'm on their side, their political side, and I may not be at all. I'm hoping that you're listening to me because at some point, maybe not all the time, you hear something that's new or different or a different perspective that you haven't heard in those words before or something. Yeah, you should go get your coffee. I'll wait. Hey, thank you guys for the super chats. And by the way, I want to let everybody know I sent this out on the Bunker Nation, but apparently there was no response. So it's going to go elsewhere. But the hoodies are out. The navy and gold Bunker Nation shirts are out. And we have a special package deal that's for fundraising for the show. So you can do it to help the show. Is you can get the t-shirt and the hoodie and 2 opportunities for consulting with me personally for $150 donation or whatever you want to call it. That's going to help us get solar batteries and fix up the studio here. My friend Sean is going to come here and we're going to get everything fixed up where this thing is tight and nice and works. TP's back in the stores in Montana. No, I'm glad if you like what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're not learning anything, if all I'm saying is what you already think, first of all, I doubt that that's true. I think you're probably lying to yourself. But if that's all it is, then you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time only hearing somebody tell you what they think. To say you agree with me is one thing, but to say that I always agree with you, then you are wasting your time. That's just common sense. Maybe when I say it, you go, yeah, that sounds true. Or yeah, I agree with that. That's a good way to put that. I'm fine with that. But if I was tuning into you and all you ever said was what I already think, at some point I already know what I already think. I want to hear some stuff that I hadn't really thought of in that way before, or a new way to put it. Or maybe I thought those things, but I haven't had the words to say them. But I'm very irritated when all I ever hear from somebody it's very dismissive. It's very one-upmanship when you're just like, oh yeah, I've been doing that forever. Oh yeah. We've always done that. Oh yeah, I've been saying that for 20 years. Oh yeah, I've been doing it. Oh yeah, everything you're doing, everything you're living, everything you're saying, everything, all this stuff, second nature to me. I've always been doing that. Why the hell are you listening to me? Why are you taking any time to listen to me? Go find somebody who has thought of things you haven't thought of yet. Or maybe, like I say, just puts it in a different way or gives you a way to say it or offers you something. So that's one thing. I'm very irritated with the people who think that science is always on their side, who don't know anything about science. I put a Facebook post about this today. They say, when they're framing somebody else's argument, they'll go, well, despite the science, they think opening up the society back, despite the science, is a good idea. Do you know what this shows about you? It shows that you are tremendously ignorant of the other side's position, even if you're right. It doesn't matter if you're right or not. It means you're ignorant. You're an ignorant person who has locked out any opportunity to learn anything because you have grabbed the essence of scientism or whatever as your pet, and you think it supports everything you think. And so you go out and find whatever articles, and they're always written by the same people in the same groups and the same channels. And it always fits right into your political bailiwick. Both sides do it. Science doesn't belong to you. And I will tell you this. My reading, my study, my knowledge, my experience in literature, my experience in all theology and everything else aside, throw all that out the window. Just what I've learned since about January 7th in fitness and trying to I've lost 101 pounds and gone through a complete body overhaul. And all I have done since January is study and research. And you know what? Nobody agrees on anything, and they all believe that the science supports them. So forget politics, forget coronavirus, forget COVID, forget everything. In fitness, there are people who absolutely believe that science supports everything that they believe, and they use anecdotal evidence. Look at me. Look at me. I look pretty good. I'm not bragging, but I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I've listened to two people who I highly respect, who have massive bodies of muscle, who completely disagree, and they both offer study after study after study supporting their point of view. Here's the thing. You don't understand science. Science is not a solved, settled issue. There are studies that say things that are contradictory, and they come out at the same time. And even if they all agreed, it doesn't mean that they're right. There's always studies that are overthrowing what we knew before. And I'm just talking about in fitness. There's a guy who I like a lot. I listen to him a lot. He's got a lot of great stuff. His name is Thomas DeLauer. I've talked to him on here before. Talked to you about him on here before. He's got great stuff. He's a keto guy. I'm not particularly keto, although I do some keto weeks. He's got some great information. And then there's other guys that I listen to who can't stand that guy. He's totally full of crap. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Here's what the science says. And then they both pull out their studies and they highlight the parts that they want to highlight and they zoom through the rest of it. And then they make their argument and then they use their anecdotal evidence. Look at me. I do this. Clearly the science works. And so these people that are out here now and they're saying, oh, well, despite the science, whole states are opening up their economies. It's not despite the science, you idiot. And I'm not taking a side. I'm saying at least know their position. At least know that there's an entire other opinion based on science. My light went out. I should have charged it. All right. Maybe it'll stay on a little while. Based on science, studies, that says something completely different. And here's the thing. Because of the law of non-contradiction, they can both be right. Because their positions are not naturally contradictory. Most people don't even know the law of non-contradiction. So A cannot equal not A in the same position under the same conditions in the same way. That's the law of non-contradiction. That light's just going to have to stay off. It can be true both that the coronavirus is a serious virus that's probably going to have a bit of a resurgence when they open up the economies and people start going back to work and people start going to restaurants and all that. That can be true, and it can be the best thing. At least know what the other person thinks. At least know it. I've always said, if you can't take the other person's argument and win with it, then you don't know it well enough. It's not just a lack of empathy. It's a bubble virus of ignorance. And I haven't even got to my topic yet. All of these things tie together, though, and that is that people seem to hate to have any opinions with which they disagree ever offered or ever argued. And so here you have these people who are out there acting like science is their private playground that they own. They don't ever admit any mistakes. They never admit that some methodology was wrong or that the models were bad or that they put out bad numbers. And if they ever do, they kick the can down the curb and say, well, we were operating based on the information, but what science gave us. The improved science now says this. And forget their agendas and forget the fact that everything they choose to believe always fits what they always believed and always wanted. They always wanted absolute power in the hands of policy wonks instead of individuals. They always wanted that. And so they find data and science that agrees with that, and then they act like nobody else out there has any science. Now let's talk about these other people. These keyboard warriors who like to sit out there and talk smack about how everybody who disagrees with them, anybody out there wearing a mask, anybody out there believing any of this stuff is just a sheep. Boy, that's just irritating as all get out. I would love, and these people are my friends, I would love to run into you when you pull that crap. I would ask you a question. Geniuses, what's wrong with being a sheep? Have you read the Bible? You morons. And these are my friends. Have you read it? That's all there is sheep and goats, buddy. And if you're saying you're not a sheep, then you're a goat. There's no sheepdogs either. Second of all, just because somebody disagrees with you about the science of opening up the economy, or they don't believe that wearing a mask is stupid, they don't agree with you about that, they've listened to other experts, doesn't make them sheep. Hello, Scott. Doesn't make them goats, doesn't make them sheep, doesn't make them anything. But here's the thing. Here's where we're going to get to our topic. None of these people, none of them, everyone thinks there's some kind of resistance fighter. They're all Braveheart. They're all Mel Gibson out there with half their face painted blue yelling freedom from the top of some hill. You're not Braveheart. If you can't take it without air conditioning when nothing was wrong, if you're complaining about the fact that the last Avengers movie or whatever, the last DC movie sucked or whatever your world is about, I want to talk a little about the Hormetic Effect. And I've talked about it before, but you probably don't remember it. It was a long time ago. The Hormetic Effect, literally, if we narrow it down to its literal Wikipedia definition or something like that, is basically the idea that when a biological entity, it has introduced into it a stressor or toxin or something that in larger amounts would be toxic, deadly, or harmful, but in certain amounts, it causes the mechanism in that biological entity to get stronger, to fight against it, to defeat it. You remember in that movie, The Princess Bride, when they're having the showdown of wits and Wesley pulls out the iocane powder, and then he explains afterwards that he spent years taking small microdoses of iocane powder and he built up a resistance to it. That's the Hormetic Effect. And it works. That's the literal definition of hormesis. Okay? But hormesis permeates every area of life. The reason you can build muscle, you can get stronger. The reason that you can craft your body is because of hormesis. When you introduce stress, resistance, discomfort, and you embrace it and you increase it just enough that you don't injure yourself, or you injure yourself, but you don't cause yourself serious injury, your body reacts by getting stronger. When you lift weights or you use body weight exercises, you tear down muscle in just the right amount, hopefully, that it can grow back bigger and stronger, and you can meet that resistance. This is a part of what God put into your body to make you survive. But here's the thing. All of society, going back to the Industrial Revolution, is framed around the idea of removing discomfort, removing resistance. The world has created a 72-degree womb where there is no resistance, there is no stressors. What we call stress today is emotional stress. for weak biological mechanisms who have already been bereft of any hormesis. When you see somebody up there typing on a computer about how everybody else is a sheeple, but they're the real patriots who are going to rise up and they're going to return America back to the Constitution, blah, 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 blah. Look at their life and see how much resistance they put up so far. How difficult is their day? And I'm not talking about, well, I work hard. I have to get out the tractor and I got to go do this and I got to shovel this. And yeah, some of that. Enough? Can you do without it? Can you do it without the tractor? Can you do it without the air conditioning? You think you could. You all talk so much smack. So we got one side claiming science as their bailiwick. They're the gods of science, even though they don't know what they're talking about. And you got the other side all about walking around like they're the Minutemen. Like they're at Valley Forge or something. Go read a book. Read a book about what Stonewall Jackson's brigade did. When they would march 80 miles straight without shoes through snow and ice and sleet. 80 miles in one night. Stonewall Jackson had his brigade appear as 3 armies. The enemy had no idea where he was, what he was doing, or how many people he had, because he would fight 3 battles in one night, 80 miles apart. Those are the people that were fighting. Same thing in George Washington's army. The amount of discomfort those people went through is unimaginable. If you can't walk 10,000, I get people typing to me private messages saying, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do 20,000 steps. I tried to do 12,000 steps the other day. I thought I was going to die. I appreciate the honesty. But when you turn around the next 5 minutes and you're on Facebook talking about everybody else is a stupid sheeple, and you're like one of the paragons of resistance in the world, what are you going to do? Hit them with your purse? It's all very, very irritating. How about we tamp down the emotions just a little bit and act like people who don't know everything and don't have all the answers? We don't know everything. I don't know everything about this stupid virus. I don't know anything about it. But everybody's a genius. Everybody online thinks they know everything. By the way, we have lost 8 subscribers in the last 3 shows and gained none as far as I know. So this is the reason. This is called hormesis. I'm adding a stressor, and we're going to find out if you're going to stick around or not. Acting like people agree with me all the time. Where were you when I needed you to tell me this? That always irritated me years and years and years ago when I would spend 8 hours crafting a sermon or an article or something, and I would put it out there, and somebody that I've known for 10 years is like, oh, yeah, I was saying that same thing 5 years ago. Well, why the hell didn't you tell me? You knew it, but you didn't tell anybody? Isn't that convenient? I think people are mostly full of crap. Just takes a little bit of humility for us to try to take a step back and look at the world and say, yeah, bad things are happening. We're very likely on the edge of a civil war. This virus could be very, very real, and it could reassert itself, and we could see deaths in untold numbers. I don't know. I know some people are lying. I know people on both sides that are lying. Nobody's ever going to let a good crisis go to waste. The things we should be doing, we're possibly not doing because we're too busy putting on a uniform of our color cult, whether it's blue or red. People I like and I agree with on the left are acting like somehow overnight they became scientists just because they read an article on a left-wing news site that told them, hey, the science is clear on this. If we don't have universal basic income, everybody's going to die of coronavirus. Science is clear. And at the same time, I'm sitting over here and people who I like, who I've spent time with, so insulting, so condescending to other people who disagree with them, when at the same time, I doubt that people could wrestle me. You going to take on the world? Turn off the air conditioning for 15 minutes and let's see how that works for you. Oh, well, I've never had air conditioning. I live just like you. I've been living like you for 20 years, only worse. We didn't even have air. You're lucky you have air. We didn't have air when we lived. You lived off grid 15 years. We lived off grid 15 and a half years without air. Food, we didn't have food. Only rich people had food. We just took a little pebbles and put them under our tongue, let them melt. Everybody does it better. Everybody knows more. Everybody's got all the answers. Everybody knows all the secrets. Perhaps we ought to study and examine the Hormetic Effect and see how we can make ourselves better. Hormesis. It's our word for today. I know I've been yelling and I'm not even mad. Irritated. I'm just irritated. I'm sorry if I scolded you or scolded anybody. So that's the thing. That's the rant for today. We should talk about other things. What do y'all have in mind? What's going on out there? I like watches now. Thank you, Dana, for that super chat. I appreciate it. So the hoodies, I'm going to have the hoodie in this week. If you guys want to get one, you're going to have to get one fast because I put it out there on the Bunker Nation and nobody got one. And so it's going out on my email list tomorrow. It's going out on 2 or 3 big prepper sites and all that. So we only do a limited amount of them. The only one that's like staying permanently is probably the white bunker shirt. I don't know about that navy shirt yet, but go get them. Even if you don't want them, you should get them and use it to support the channel because we're going to use the money. We're going to get some batteries for the solar power. We're going to get some other stuff that we need, some lighting for in here, etc., and make this all better so that we can massively export the idea that people can unsubscribe in masses every time I say something they disagree with. I'm going to be good at this. Hey, everybody, smash the like button if you want to. If you have a question or comment, I should go back and read some of the comments. I got to finally talk with my local farmer and offered my volunteer help with planting. Well, thank you. That's fantastic. You know how many people have contacted me about helping or meat or anything else? Zero. Hey, thank you, Bill. Thank you for the super chat. When do I start my rant? It's coming up. I got to get built up for it. I'm a little irritated. Just a little bit. Science belongs to God. If it agrees with Scripture, I buy it. If it doesn't, I don't. That's kind of where I am. I'm more than willing also to understand that my understanding of Scripture is not absolute. Sometimes I learn more things and I learn new things. I think that's healthy. Moderate your certainty. There's times I make you mad, but I'm still here. At times I'll make me mad. I'm a little irritated, really, at these calling everybody sheep. First of all, it's just stupid. Because there ain't nothing wrong with being a sheep. I'm one. Sheep are not very smart. Sheep like to be protected in the sheepfold. All kinds of things. Thank you, Russ, for that super chat. Super chats are awesome. I like the green grass. I like being sheltered in the valley of death. I like the fact that his rod and his staff, it comforts me. I like all kinds of sheep things. I'm a sheep, and I am excited and well pleased to be one. And like I said, most of the people yelling hashtag I'm a sheep. Let's put that out there. Most of the people that I see that are the most irritating or the most condescending about that are probably the least able to survive with me out somewhere for a week or two. They think that they'd be all right, but we've had a lot of Marines and others that have come out here and tried it that haven't done all right. Alpacas. All right, y'all. You're gonna have to put comments and questions up because that was my deal. And I don't plan these things. I don't sit there and think about what I'm gonna say. I think of something that's irritating me or something that I want to talk about or something I think you might want to know as I'm walking around during the day, and then that's what I talk about. Just whatever was good. That exact same words were going through my head. I had 20 plus years to form my opinion. It's tough to change that behavior once in a while. Yeah. But those 20 plus years have been studying things I've been wrong about. And so science shows that science should recognize that when they were wrong about butter, they can be wrong about anything. They were wrong about eggs. They were wrong about the ice age. They've been wrong about cholesterol. Well, they've been wrong about a lot of stuff. At some point, when you're wrong all the time, some humility should enter in a little bit. So that's the thing. Hold on, let me check something real quick. I just had something pop up. And so that's the thing, guys. The thing is, a whole lot of getting by in this world and understanding and actually strengthening your opinion or changing your opinion is the ability to see something from somebody else's point of view and why they think that way. What information are they getting? Just yelling at them, turn off CNN, you dummy. Like they're any different from you. Like you're getting yours from some like pure news place. But it helps you understand why they think what, because they have experts all day telling them what to think, handing them their opinions. What am I looking forward to in the remaining days of the challenge? So my big thing that I want to do is I want to have a meal on the last day with a bunch of stuff that I've preserved or prepared throughout the month. And I wanted that to be something kind of, a big thing, but I didn't know it was going to be 102 degrees. It's going to be 102 degrees on Tuesday. So today I baked bread in the solar oven and I baked potatoes in the solar oven. And so I kind of got this idea. I found some wheat from our last big wheat crop, which I think was 2015. So I was thinking, I'm going to grind up some of that wheat. I'm going to make some things. I'm going to make some bread. And so I've got a wheat crop in the field. I could have a wheat from our own field that I make into bread. Then I've got the meat that I canned. Hopefully the squash it looks like it's going to be ready to go. All of this stuff, but then it's going to be 102 degrees. And so then I was like a little deflated. Because having dinner and filming it by yourself when it's 102 degrees is, I don't know. It's going to work and it's going to be great. It's just a little bit deflated. But that was what I was really looking forward to. I still have to can up the kraut. And I have to, there's a few other things. I want to fix the clothesline. I want to go fishing again, which I haven't done. I wanted to go fishing this morning. If this morning was cold, it's 90 right now, but it was cold this morning. If I wake up tomorrow morning and it's that cold, that rooster up there is getting it. And so I'm going to butcher a rooster. I had really hoped. Oh, I'm also going to roll cigars. I'm going to roll cigars either Monday or Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to that a lot because I have not had a cigar, I guess, month or two. So it's going to be fun. You got the first hoodie. I'm gonna be wearing mine. I don't think mine's gonna be here in time for the end of the challenge, but I'm gonna keep doing these lives 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm gonna have my hoodie even if it's hot out because I love it. I've been looking forward to it. And then somebody today recommended a long sleeve, like the Navy Bunker Nation shirt that's out, the T-shirt, but a long sleeve one with the Bunker Nation down the sleeve. I think that'd be kind of cool. There's a lot of things we can do, but I don't want to leave stuff out there forever where we got 47 shirts and then, the guy who's doing these, I don't want him to have to be doing like one-offs. There's companies that do one-offs, but I'm trying to get enough orders, and if there are not enough orders, then I'll just take the product off. Yeah, it's rolling cigars is a simple concept, and it is a lifelong art. Lifelong art. And so we all, especially if we have some dexterity or manual acuity, think we're going to run into it and be able to do it real good. And you can make something smokable pretty fast, but it's an art you learn over a lifetime. Even when I get back to this tomorrow or the next day, it's going to take me a while. I can't just get right back into it and start rolling stuff that looks like Cubans from 1947. I can get there after a week or so of rolling. It all comes back to you, but it's going to take me a little while. But it's enjoyable. I really enjoy doing it. Hey, you guys, if you have any questions or comments or anything you want to talk about, I'm here for you. I got 2 more days after today of walking around, thinking about you guys, thinking about what I need to say to you, what we need to talk about, what's going on in the world. We've done all right together, I think, through this. It's been difficult. This is one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. I would have been much, much better off hiking into the wilderness with a backpack and a knife if I didn't have to record everything and do shows and do all this kind of stuff. I could have cruised through 30 days pretty fast, pretty easily. But this was difficult. It was difficult for a lot of reasons. But trying to do it all, one of the things I've recognized is that trying to do the farm work and all of the other stuff by myself was just brutal. You get up all the chores that I would normally do in my regular life. That was like 1/10 of my day. So, but I'm looking forward to some more stuff that's coming up. And I would like to, even if I get time, make another batch of beer, another batch of small beer. I'm sad that I ran out of small beer and didn't make another batch. But remember, even after Tuesday night, when this thing is over, the 30-day challenge is over, I still got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before Danielle gets home. When the challenge is over, do you plan to provide a way to purchase the content? I'm going to try to get it all here on the channel. So what I've got planned now, because of the internet speeds and all that, is instead of having a daily episode for every day, I'm probably going to have some episodes that are 1, 2, or 3 days. Some will be 1 day, some will be 2 days, and then just start putting them out. I mean, I'll have time because I won't be doing this every night, and I won't be doing all the other stuff. And so it takes me about 5 or 6 hours now because I'm a beginner at putting together an episode. But I think once I get going, I could do probably in 2 or 3 hours. I have all the stuff. And so, yeah, eventually what I'd like to do is put together a documentary of the all 30 days that's maybe like 2 hours long, and we could make it available somehow. There's a couple of documentaries I want to do. That's one of them. And then I would like, and maybe we could have it on DVD or something. And then I want to do a documentary on my my fitness journey going back to January. And I've got a lot of footage on that too that I would like to do. Yeah, it takes a lot of skill, and I don't have any of the skills, but I'm going to try to get better. And I've spent some money on some editing software and some things that'll make it better. My plans when Danielle gets home. I think she's going to get home Friday night. I haven't seen her on here, so she may not be on here tonight. I think Friday night we'll probably just hang out and talk. I have not talked to a person face to face in 30 days. Well, 28 days. So we'll probably talk a lot. Saturday, I would imagine that we're going to go out and I don't have any supplies. I don't have any groceries. I'm going to get ice on Wednesday, maybe pick up a few things, but she's probably going to want to get some things back up to stock and up to par at the house. I imagine at some point we're going to go to Brownwood and we're going to go take probably 4 tons of laundry and do a bunch of laundry and all that. So I imagine we'll hang out and talk a lot. We used to talk 3 to 5. We'd take walks 3 or 5 times a day, long walks. That was when I was doing all my intentional walking. And so I missed that probably more than any. See how this light is coming in this window now? This is what we're going to deal with. This is why I want to do this fundraiser, because I want to get another one of those. One of those shelves is coming in for that window, but there's a window here where this light is coming in right now. And in the summer, it'll be that way all the way till 9 o'clock. And so I want to put another bookshelf right here, and then we'll have lighting. Yeah, I think there would be some great documentaries. The documentary on the fitness journey is particularly poignant because of the fact that I was getting ready for the movie. The movie was imminent. All this stuff was happening. And then the pandemic hit. And, trying to shift on a dime and to be able to provide content. It would have been very easy for me during this time period, during this 30 days, to just forget about everybody else and not care and just go, okay, I'll just turn off the world and I'll continue to do my fitness stuff. But a lot of people in March were contacting me because they've read my books and they've seen the things I've said and they saw that I was getting a lot of things right. And they were asking for more and more content and more ideas and thoughts and what I think is going to happen. And that's what led to this. So it was more of an outreach. It's more of a ministry type of thing rather than any real like long-term benefit. And so that was just what I decided to do. And so changing my whole methodology and my plans, I planned on being with the movie crew for 6 to 9 months of this year. That was the plan. Couldn't talk to anybody about it or anything like that, but I was hoping if things would have gone well, that's what was going to happen. I see this light. Oh, I got to get a bookshelf there. Nancy says she's trying to get an old sewing machine working. It was free. I started reading about the motor on the manual and just sharing because doing this is challenging me. Yeah. I've done a lot of those type of things, trying to get old equipment working and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, y'all, if you want anything, if you got any questions or comments or anything you want to talk about, type them in. Now's the time while you got me here. Yeah, wattage. There was an old Green Acres episodes where what's his name? I can't ever remember his name. Anyways, the guy on Green Acres, I got to sit back because the sun's in my eyes. He got the generator. Then he was always explaining to his wife that there was a maximum number of 10, and the waffle maker was 7, and this is 3, and this is 2, and you have to add them together. And if it's over 10, it's going to blow the fuse. And it made for hilarious comedy, because she was always like doing the math and blowing the fuse on the generator constantly. And that is so real, though, in real life. When you live the way we live, every day I'm plugging stuff in to see if I can get one more item charging and it'll throw the thing off, and then I've got to go, okay, I got to unplug that, or I can plug in these two things, but I can plug in this one thing. Yeah, Green Acres. His name is Oliver Wendell Douglas. Mr. Douglas. That's one of the imitations that I do. You guys know I do impersonations, right? The guy who was the peddler who would come up, Mr. Douglas. See, I do that guy. Oliver Wendell Douglas, and that show was genius, absolute genius. Some of the funniest comedy ever on television was on that show. If you ever, Eddie Albert, and Eddie Albert lived to be like 105. Eddie Albert was in Sun Also Rises in like 1936, and he lived into the 2000s. The guy lived a long, long time. He may have been 105 or 103 or 101. I don't remember. Somebody could look it up, but he was up near 100. I know you hate phone calls. Any packages with face-to-face consulting? Yes, please go to the website. I put a link on the Bunker Nation that says consulting. Do you mean face-to-face other than phone call? Yeah, it's not mentioned in there, but that's certainly an option. Certainly an option. Yeah, I love Green Acres, man. In fact, I might watch some Green Acres tonight. I love that show. And then there was the two brothers. One of them was a female who were the painters. And then you had Ebb. Man, that show was hilarious. Yeah, it was missing outside walls, and then they would open up the closet, and it always slid and fell on the ground, and then the painters always came in through the closet. That show was just genius. It was so genius. I used to laugh so hard at that show, and everybody was in it, and it was so like real life to me, because Oliver, he was the straight man, and he was always right. And he would, Lisa would say something and she would mispronounce it. But she insisted she was right. She was mispronouncing a word. Then later on, unconnected, he would run into the county agent, or he would run into Mr. Haney, and then they would all mispronounce the same word the same way. And it always reinforced Lisa's idea that she was saying it right. Stuff like that happened on the show. It's just genius. And it's so true. It's so true. I've been dealing with my family, and where they'll say something that's wrong. Like, no, that's not what that is. And then they all start arguing. And they reinforce each other's. I used to go, this is just like Green Acres. Yeah, the pig not only lived in the house, but he watched westerns and more movies. And he would turn the TV on and watch westerns. I'm trying to think of the pig's name. Arthur? Something like that? Arnold the pig. Arnold. What a great show. See, now you got me talking about that stuff. All right, guys, I got to go. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you all for the super chats. Those things keep us going. Here's the thing. I'm going to go down there, and I haven't put it yet down there, but it's going to be in the description. Go to the store, the swag store. It says michaelbunker.com/store. There's a t-shirt, a new one, a hoodie, and then there's the consulting deal, michaelbunker.com/consulting. If you do the consulting deal, it's $150. You get everything. You get the t-shirt, you get the hoodie, you get the consulting. But it doesn't even matter. If you want it, it's way worth more than that. It's worth way. I mean, people have offered me thousands of dollars to consult on films, documentaries, homesteads, preparedness, and I've turned them down. You could get a 1 hour phone call and a 1 hour or a long email for $77. But even if you don't want it, even if you're like, I don't need any of that stuff, I don't need another shirt, buy it anyway. Get that stuff, save the shirt and the hoodie, to give as gifts during the holiday season. And then, if you want to, you can call me and we'll talk about fishing for an hour. Whatever. And then you would have helped the show. You helped the channel. Anyways, if not, just buy the t-shirt, buy the hoodie, whatever. Whatever you want to do. Hey, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, it's been great. I hope you guys have a great night, a great week coming up. Lord willing, 2 more days, I'll be done with the challenge, but I won't be done with you guys and won't be done with the Bunker Nation. We'll just keep on going. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thumbs up to everybody. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed because everybody else is ditching me. God bless you. I love you. I'll talk to you again tomorrow, Lord willing.